Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Sorry it's been a while since the last video. I've just been at uni and every time I come back home I've just been so busy I've not had time to do one of these videos. But I wanted to do a video today because I made a really good find at the record fair that was on in Leeds the other week. It was something that I never thought I'd see it in the record fair out in the wild, and I got it for a really good price. So I'm just going to show you straight away. It's an Elvis album. So this is one for the Elvis viewers out there. And it is this album, which is For the Asking. Now, I watch quite a few Elvis YouTubers, and probably my favourite Elvis YouTuber is Scotty's Elvis Presley vinyl reviews. It used to be called that, but now he's renamed it to acknowledge like it's a collaboration between him and his brother. But he's talked about this album in some of his videos before, and I'd always seen it, and I was like, that would be a great album to own, because basically this is, I've done a review of the Memphis, Tennessee FTD vinyl on this channel a year or two ago. And what that is that album was basically what an album that should have been released in 1963. And it was sort of songs that Elvis recorded in the studio in Nashville in May 1963 and also January 1964. And there's some great tracks that were cut in those sessions, but because of like the movies taking up the release calendar and also Golden Records Volume 3 coming out, the album never came out, and so the songs that were recorded and intended for that album ended up being released on the film soundtrack albums through bonus songs. So this came out in the 90s, it's even got the Elvis in the 90s sticker there, and basically this, I think this came out in 1990, something like that. And this was sort of similar to like the Essential Elvis stuff. It was just like some deep cuts, basically. It's a great release. The vinyl plays perfectly. This is the vinyl. There's the label. It's got some great songs on it. I mean, it's got Long Lonely Highway. The actual track listing as well. You know, Long Lonely Highway, Witchcraft, Love Me Tonight, Please Don't Drag That String Around, Never Ending. And then on the second side, you've got songs like It Hurts Me, Ask Me, Devil in Disguise, Memphis, Tennessee. These are some great Elvis songs. Some of the best that he recorded in the 60s and in his whole career, I think. Some of these songs are great. It's a shame that this album was never properly released as intended in the 60s. But I was so surprised that I found this, because I was going through this guy's Elvis box, this vendor at the record fair. He had a box of Elvis records. There was a few that I was looking at. He had Girl Happy, I've not got that one yet. And then I just came across this and I was like, wow, I did not expect to see this. So I immediately pulled the vinyl out to see if it was scratched or anything, and it looked pretty much perfect. And like the cover isn't in mint condition. It's been used, but it's not split and it's not got any bends or anything, and the vinyl plays mint. So I was just like, how much are you selling this for? I was curious. I was expecting to say at least £30, and he said £10, so I just gave him the money straight away, and I was on my merry way with this album. So yeah, I picked this up for £10, which I was so happy with. This is probably the best Elvis find that I've ever made. It might be the best record I've ever found in terms of how much of a bargain that I've got it for, because this is, I wouldn't say it's worth, if you asked me to guess how much I wouldn't have said it was worth too much. I would have said most 30 quid if it was mint, but this album has gone up in value a lot recently. On Discogs it's sold for as much as £120, something like that. Whenever I've seen Scotty's Elvis channel, whenever he's shown this album, talked about it, he's always mentioned that it's gone up in price quite a bit recently. I guess that's just inflation, because it's just a desirable product among collectors, but I'm so happy to have this. I mean, it's a cool Elvis item to own. I mean, I've played it as well, and the tracks, the way the tracks are ordered on this release are really great. It's exactly how it should have been done if it came out. You have like the rock and roll and up-tempo songs, and then in between you have like the softer, more mellow ballads. Like albums like Something for Everybody, which came out in 61, that album has some great songs on it, but it could have been made a lot better if they added the hit singles that came out at the time. For some reason, Colonel Parker had a policy where you don't release hit singles on the albums. I think the Beatles did a similar thing. I'm not sure why, because it would have, I mean, the Beatles had fantastic albums, but Elvis's 60s album, his studio albums would have been augmented so much better if they had hit singles on them. They would have been like, I'm not saying they're great albums, but they would have stood the test of time more, I think, if they had the hit singles on them. But what I was saying was that albums like Something for Everybody, it has sort of, the first side is the ballad side, the second side is the rock and roll, up-tempo, rhythm and blues side. So the album sort of has a bit of a uneven flow to it, whereas this album flows really well. Albums like this, I think, are albums that should be more well known in Elvis's discography. I feel like albums like this, songs like this, should be reissued more. Some of Elvis's albums definitely need like proper full-on reissues. I mean, you have like the FTDs, but those are like collector's albums. You have albums like the debut that are released through Sony Music, but even his best albums like Elvis Is Back and From Elvis in Memphis are only released sort of through like labels such as Music on Vinyl or Speaker's Corner, which are sort of like high fidelity vinyl labels. There needs to be common reissues of Elvis stuff like this, and especially at least like a Sony Legacy edition or something like this, because this deserves it. This is a great album. I'm so happy to own this. Let me know if any of you own this, and also let me know if you have any information about this. I'd love to have conversations about it. But as far as I'm aware, it was released, I think it's a German release. I think it's an import, I can't remember, but it's certainly from the 90s. And there were some great Elvis releases that came out on vinyl in that era, for the collectors, really. But like, it's a great cover, Elvis looking tanned. It's probably, I think that photo's probably from around 1964. You can tell by the hairstyle usually when the year is, when Elvis went, like, whatever photo it is of Elvis. You can usually tell what year it is by his hair. So this looks like 1964, but yeah, he's looking really cool there. But yeah, fantastic album of songs, just a great find. I'm so happy to own it. Let me know what you think. Hopefully going to make another video very soon. Don't know what on yet, but we'll see. But thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.